are now listening to a true horror story. Uncover hidden truths, ancient legends, and unexplained mysteries, where the unknown begins and reality bends from beyond truth. Dim the lights, put on your headphones, and don't look behind you, because what you're about to hear might just be real.
The House at 113, a haunting story. The small town of Haddonfield, California, is known for its quaint, historic houses. But one particular property sends shivers down everyone's spine. The house at 113 Elmwood Drive, Ive. Tucked away on a secluded street, shrouded by ancient oak trees and a rusted iron fence, the house has stood abandoned for nearly 4 decades. Its dark reputation began in the 1970s, when the Miller family, a couple, and their young daughter, Lily, vanished without a trace. Police searched the house thoroughly, but found no sign of a struggle or any note. Dinner was still on the table, the car was in the garage, yet the entire family had simply disappeared into thin air. From that day on, the house was considered cursed. A few brave souls attempted to live there, but none lasted more than a month. They fled in a panic, and when questioned about what they experienced, they either shook their heads or went into a state of shock, unable to utter a single word. The eerie stories multiplied. A child's mournful crying in the dead of night, faint whispers calling out names in the empty hallways, and shadows flitting past the windows. Some even swore they saw the distorted face of Mrs. Miller in the old living room mirror, and the ghostly form of little Lily playing on the swing set in the backyard. The house became a forbidden zone, a place where curiosity was overcome by dread. In the autumn of 2005, Mark, a talented film student from Los Angeles, decided to embark on a bold project. To him, all ghost stories were products of overactive imaginations. "This is going to be big," Mark told his friends. "We're going to expose the mystery of this house and prove that ghosts only exist in horror movies." Mark's team consisted of 3 people. Anna, his girlfriend, who was highly sensitive and had a terrible feeling about the place. Leo, the cameraman, whose face was perpetually filled with worry. And Mark, the director and narrator. They were fully equipped with cameras, audio recorders, EMF detectors, and infrared cameras to capture every movement in the dark. The first night was eerily quiet. Mark smirked. "See? Just made up stories." But Anna still felt uneasy. She told him she felt like someone was watching them, a chilling presence that clung to her. Leo's camera, although working fine, occasionally picked up strange signal interference. Mark simply dismissed their concerns and told everyone to get some sleep. The tranquility ended on the second night. At 1:30 a.m., a strange noise from the attic startled the group. It wasn't footsteps, but the sound of objects being moved. They went upstairs together, but the attic was empty, filled only with old, cobweb-covered furniture. A few minutes later, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen. Leo ran to investigate, but found the old plate still sitting neatly on the shelf, unbroken. A cold chill ran down his spine as he noticed a framed family photo on the refrigerator. "That's them," Anna said, her hand trembling as she pointed to the picture of the Millers. The strange occurrences continued, growing more intense. Faint whispers emanated from the attic, not clearly distinguishable, but they seemed to be in conversation. Mark was starting to feel unnerved, but he tried to convince himself it was just auditory effects his mind was creating. The third night was the final straw. Mark woke up at midnight to the sound of a child's mournful crying. It wasn't a normal cry. It was filled with utter loneliness and despair. The sound came from the master bedroom. Mark, despite his fear, grabbed his camera and headed toward the room. Leo and Anna were fast asleep, and he decided to go alone. As he got closer, the crying became clearer. He slowly opened the creaking door. The room was empty, but the air was bone-chillingly cold. The crying abruptly stopped, replaced by a sinister, ghostly giggle. A faint voice, like a breath, whispered right behind his ear. "Why did you leave us?" Mark panicked and turned around, but saw no one. A dark shadow darted past him so quickly he couldn't make it out. His camera's light began to flicker, and the house was plunged into darkness. He pulled out his phone, but there was no signal. Suddenly, An old photo appeared on the screen, the Miller's family portrait. Their faces were distorted, their eyes were blank and bloodshot, and horrifying claw marks covered their features. A streak of red blood dripped from the little girl's eye. Mark screamed and threw his phone, running for the stairs. The shadowy figure of a woman appeared in the hallway, her long black hair obscuring her face, her gaunt, skeletal hands reaching out for him. She seemed to float just above the floor. A resentful whisper echoed through the house, clearer this time. "You left us behind." Mark ran to the attic, hoping to find an escape. But as the door closed behind him, he heard a lock click into place. He was trapped. The woman's bony hands pressed against